All right, everybody, welcome in to Your Fielder's Choice. We're covering some EPL soccer, and it's my honor to be able to welcome in Riley for his first YFC live stream. Riley, it's a pleasure to have you on the team, man. Welcome in. How you feeling today?
Feeling good. I got another great weekend of soccer ahead. Got all sports I know covered on Your Fielder's Choice. So yeah, I'm excited to join my first one though and cover what should be a very interesting slate, just as we were talking about before.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's always nice because I've been doing these soccer videos for a long time. We got some soccer heads, some football heads over at YFC, and so it's a pleasure to have Riley in. For you guys that are joining us that are new, if you're watching this, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch, be sure to hit the bell and the like and the notifications because we want to be able to get you content as it drops. With YFC, we are having a promo right now where you get half off your first 2 months. That's $25. Industry pricing right now is skyrocketing. You can get all the sports coverage from the best content in the industry right now at yourfielderschoice.com. Check that out. Get at that promotional advantage of $25 your first 2 months. You're basically getting a month free. And of course, join in on the Discord chat. If you are a premium member, you're going to have access to our premium channels, premium just all sports, premium college. You're going to have more access to our coaches and gentlemen like Riley and myself. So, guys, YFC Riley pick 3, YFC V12. We're going to be bringing you some Premier League action. So we do appreciate you joining us, Riley. We're going to go ahead and talk some EPL soccer with the first game. I know it's bright and early. We got a 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, Chelsea versus Norwich City game. I'm definitely one of those objective guys here, so I won't be picking sides. I'm going to let you lead the way, and I don't want to go too Chelsea heavy here. So tell me what you think about this game. What are your thoughts? Give us some interesting plays that we can look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's Chelsea's a pretty big favorite here. Norwich, they really haven't shown much all year, especially scoring goals. Right now, it looks like they're also giving up the most goals in the EPL right now, and they're also worse giving up expected goals. So that's not a fluke. They're most likely headed for relegation. So this is not exactly a team that you want to get behind. Especially, this is going to be a tough situation for them. They're just outclassed. It's pretty simple to say. Although there is a couple injuries for Chelsea right now, and they did just play a Champions League game, so maybe a little tired legs. Obviously everyone on their team is playing internationally in the break, so maybe it's getting to that point in the season where you might get a couple guys tired or this or that. But I really think the main story here is you have no Lukaku, and it's kind of really who's going to score the goals for Chelsea now. And I know he really hasn't been maybe what everyone expected, at least early on. But even just watching their Champions League game during the week, the goal scorers you had Jorginho and Christensen. So it does kind of create some value on the slate. So what do you think about this, being a Chelsea fan yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to be up bright and early. It's 6:30 Central Time where I'm at in Texas. But yeah, man, I mean, this is my club. I follow them. My Champions League game was rough because we had Lukaku and Timo Werner obviously get hurt and get subbed out before the half. I think some of that was precautionary, but we're already dealing with injuries to Christian Pulisic, the American hero, and some other guys here. So I think that Thomas Tuchel, he knows his squad is deep. We want to make sure, and I'm talking from a Chelsea standpoint, of really just having this game come to them. You're talking about a midweek matchup that had a lot of high stakes here. You're talking about Kai Havertz that is going to probably start in a false nine role, which they've had a lot of success with before. He's actually, record signing for Chelsea, one of the more resilient players. Even whenever he was on Bayer Leverkusen, there was a lot that I think that he could do in regards to the attack. But with that false nine role, we're not relying on him as much as just touch and go kind of thing. He's going to have play in these guys, these wing backs, Ben Chilwell, Reece James. These guys are going to move forward. You're going to see a lot of Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi. So there's going to be a lot to kind of say, it's hard to nail down the goals. I think Havertz is probably my number one target in regards to upside. But I will say that you're probably going to see Ben Chilwell on set pieces and Reece James splitting. Tuchel's not big on just hammering down one guy. So they're probably going to split depending on what side of the pitch that they're on. In regards to Norwich, obviously, you said it best. I mean, they're headed for relegation. These guys came up. I mean, they're up and down, up and down. They're better than the EFL Championship, but they're not quite the top tier EPL quality. So we're playing in Stamford Bridge, early game. I think that you're looking at a Chelsea 2-0 type of game here. Do you have anything that you feel like is something that stands out pricing wise on this showdown?
Yeah, not really. I mean, a guy that I like to play in kind of these situations, and I really started playing him over the summer in the Euros. Is I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but the Spanish defenders. Oh, first name Caesar, last name Aspilcida, I believe, or it's something like that. But
Azpilicueta. But yes, that's a good try. Yeah. It's hard. It takes years to get that right. Trust me.
Yeah, I really think in this kind of game and in this situation, I think he's going to flourish. He'll get some chances to kind of come up on the attack, whether it's the left or the right side. But he's very good at sending crosses, which is something that I'd love getting in players on, especially in a showdown. Because, like you said, if this is a game where Chelsea just wins 1-0 or 2-0 and gets out of there with the win, which I can totally, I can see them totally being fine with that and moving on. And if that's the case, you're going to want to get points from, midfielders that are defenders where they're going to control possession, I would say, the majority of the time. So a guy like him is really someone I'm definitely going to be including in a lineup build right there.
Yeah, for sure. Riley, I'm not sure. I know that. There you go. I got you back on audio. I didn't know if I lost you for a second there, man. I'm sorry. But you seem to be back here. So, yeah. With that, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like this, game script wise, from a showdown build standpoint, you're talking about a 4-2-5-1 type of build. I think for DraftKings, FanDuel, obviously, a little bit more goal dependent, tackles dependent. So these guys like the Kovacevic's, and Rudiger's, Thiago Silva's, they're definitely going to be more in play. I will say though, from a just a USA narrative standpoint, Josh Sargent is on the other side of Norwich City as a striker up there with Timo Pukki. If you're building a GPB contrarian build, where do you feel like you're going to go with this? I mean, are you still going to just go Chelsea onslaught? Do you feel like, you're going to get one of these cheap goal scorers for Norwich City? Where can we be different in GPP here?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Chelsea, they have delivered really good results and the defense has been solid when you're looking at goals allowed, but the metrics really haven't been as great. It's just, the goalie Mendy, he's been fantastic, but they've been giving up some shots. So and, one guy I really like, you just mentioned him, is Pukki. He's, in their season last year in the championship, he was unbelievable. He's a prolific goal scorer. He has experience at this level. And, he's going to be on PKs. So if you do get a situation where something like that happens, and that is a likely situation where, I think they can actually get a goal, I would definitely include him in my lineups if I'm looking to build contrarian, maybe go 2-4 Norwich Chelsea. If you think that he can get a goal, I think that might be the key factor, because obviously you are going to have to use someone from Norwich, and, he's going to be a decent enough price point too, where you're not going to have to trade anyone you like on Chelsea. So I would say that's going to be my top pick from there. And, like you said, Sargent, he's actually been pretty solid too. He's a guy that I've been was following it since the Bundesliga, and he kind of really came on last year, and he's actually been very solid for them. And I think he actually has a future in the EPL, which is, great to see for, American soccer fans.
Absolutely. And I know they have Milot Rashica. I think he came out of Bundesliga. He's a popular winger, wide player, good for DFS. I mean, honestly, what I always come back to with Norwich is I'm like, yeah, they're playing on the road. This is not a good game script for them. But if you really wanted to just be super different and you wanted to do a one-off for Norwich, I will say Tim Krul. He's probably one of the best penalty kick savers in the EPL. I don't know if you remember some of his highlight moments, but it's tough because you're talking about a goalkeeper that you're playing against the team that you're stacking. It doesn't make a lot of correlation sense, but we got to remember though, every save that Tim Krul makes, that offsets a goal for DraftKings scoring. So something to keep in mind there. But guys, we're going to move on. I think that game is obviously early from a showdown standpoint. Be sure to check in the soccer chat or the premium chat. Tag one of us. You have our taglines below, and we'll be happy to answer any questions with that. We're going to move on to our first game on the 4-game slate, and it looks like Southampton and Burnley. Tell me what you think in regards to this game. I'm sorry, Newcastle Crystal Palace is actually the first game, and I wanted to make sure that we follow the order. That's my fault, guys. So, what do you think here? Newcastle Crystal Palace, Riley. Where are you leaning on this game?
Yeah, I like attacking this game a lot. I think I really think this game has potential to have the highest amount of goals on the slate. You have a Crystal Palace team who really has, they've really improved offensively since last year. I mean, they were one of the worst, maybe if not the worst offensive team in the EPL last year, and they've really shown me something this year. And I'm not really sure what it is because the roster is pretty similar, but one player that I'm really going to be targeting here is Conor Gallagher. He's a midfielder. He started off 2 of the first 3 weeks on the slate. He was the highest scorer. He does all the things that I really look for, in these kind of EPL builds. He's number one. The offense is going to be running through him, so he's going to get a lot of shots assisted. But he's also very good getting shots himself, and especially shots on target. So, he does have that goal scoring ability to kind of raise his ceiling from your kind of normal midfielder who's getting the passes, the shots assisted, and the crosses too. Which those, like I said, those are all things that I'm really looking for. Another player that I did highlight in the article too is from Newcastle. A little bit of a cheaper price is Maguel Armeon. He's from Paraguay, but so basically, the reason I highlighted him is he's one of the 2 players on the slate where his expected goals versus actual goals is a negative difference right now. So right now he's minus 1.6 expected versus actual goals. So basically, what that means to me is he's getting some decent chances. He's getting some okay looks. He just hasn't been able to finish. Didn't get the right pass or whatever it is. And right now he's sitting at 4.6K on DraftKings, and he's going to be up in the front 3 for a Newcastle team that if you've watched any Newcastle this year, they defense optional and they like to push it up front. So to me, where he's going to be in the lineup and his price point, he's a great GBP play for me in a match that I think is going to be wide open, and I think that has the highest potential for the most goals. So those are two builds that I really like, 2 players that I like. That Gallagher, I think he's a guy that I'm going to be is both kind of GBP and cash ability. Miguel definitely more GBP, but yeah, this is a game. I'm not against stacking either. I think there's great options on both sides. Zaha is questionable right now, but he's obviously he's always solid. Wilson is another guy from Newcastle I like. And I'll highlight one more. I don't want to skip around positions too much, but I do like defender from Newcastle, Matt Ritchie. He's really the defenders that he's one of my favorite defenders to play in the EPL. He does everything I look for. He's crossing. He's also very good on defense. He has a very, very high floor. So on a slate like this where there really isn't any overwhelming favorites, he's a guy that I'll definitely have in my cash builds.
I totally agree on Almiron. He's a really good cash build. Obviously, if he makes a starting 11, he's somebody that's always way too cheap and has that goal upside. I agree with you. I mean, Matt Ritchie's kind of the guy that you have to play. So one of the things about Newcastle that I've always noticed in regards to EPL especially is that they absolutely are a target for if you're playing DFS and you want to target a team to attack. They allow a ton of crosses, a ton of shots on goal. I can't imagine the amount of money I've won with Martin Dubravka whenever he was in goal for
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we lost him for a little bit. Do you want me to just continue here? Okay. Yeah. So like I said, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. We were just finishing up some thoughts there, and so basically, like I said, I think it's a good game to attack. You're gonna have some guys that really aren't going to be on the expensive side. So especially up front compared to kind of your usual slate, like if you had a Man City or a big team like that on there. So this is definitely a game that I'm interested in, and one that there's good potential for.
I don't know if I'm back yet or not. Sorry.
Yes, yeah, back. You're back in. We're just finishing up on the Crystal Palace Newcastle game here. Anything else you want to add?
Hello. Hello. Check 1, 2. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Hello.
Yeah, we got Crystal. Like you said, good game to attack. Definitely one highlight. I think Newcastle has a pretty good shot getting an upset here. So, I'm gonna stay away from both of these goalies, though. Just my opinion. I think there's gonna be a lot of offense in this one, so I'm gonna have to pass on both of these goalies. You want to move on to the next game and which one was that? It was Watford, right? Okay, yeah. So Watford Everton. So yeah, this is an interesting game. Everton's coming in here. They're the biggest favorite on the slate right now. They're minus 160, minus 150, depending on where you look at. They do also have some injury questions. That's kind of a big theme for this week, especially tomorrow. They have Calvert-Lewin. He's going to be out. He's probably their best attacker. Richarlison, he's questionable. I've seen mixed opinions on whether people think he's going to play. I pointed out 2 guys from Everton, actually 3 guys from Everton in my article. I do like Everton to come away with 3 points here. I think they're a deserving favorite, and I think they'll get the job done at home. Watford, they're very hot and cold, but I really do like Everton in the spot, and a lot of it has to do with just kind of their overall team is going to be much higher quality than Watford, and this is a match. They're going to be at home, and they know 3 points is big here for what they want to accomplish this season. So I'll start off up front. You got, I believe his name's Solomon Ronan. He's going to be replacing Calvert-Lewin. He really hasn't had that much opportunity this season, but if you look at his per 90 metrics, they're very solid. He's getting about three shots per 90. He has good shot creation action per 90 numbers as well. I think he's one of those guys that comes in, replaces, and I think he does a fine job. And right now he's 5.3K. I mean, more than likely he'll be a popular play just because he's going to be getting the opportunities on the best team at that price. So a lot of people are going to flock to him, including me. I'm not going to shy away. I think he's pretty live to get a goal here. I do like those odds quite a bit, and yeah, he's a guy that I'll probably stick with most of GPP because he is a little bit of an unknown, but I think at the price he's very solid. I'm also going to look at Damari Gray, midfielder for Everton. So you have kind of the elephant in the room. You have Townsend. He's going to be 10.5K midfielder for Everton. He's been very, very good.
Right.
He has got a very high kind of floor right now. Looks like he's averaging about 16, 17 points per game, depending on what site you prefer. But I'm gonna pivot off him here with Gray. Gray really, his numbers really aren't that much worse. He's getting 3 creation actions per 90 as well. He's been very consistent in getting shots on goal and sending crosses in as well. So, like I said, those are 3 things that I really do like, especially at the midfielder spot. And I think he's a good option to get away from Townsend at the expensive price. And he's definitely someone that I'm going to have in, I would say, almost all of my builds tomorrow.
The 2 guys. Back here. Did you get me back?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was pulling up a streaming on our yourfielderschoice.com, and I think it kicked us off. So I was wondering what happened. I was like, what did I do wrong? But apparently I pulled up our video. So I'm going to have to blame our engineer and producer, Gervais, on that one. So I mean, it is what it is, you guys. I mean, this is the talent that we're dealing with here. So, it happens, guys. So, no, it's my fault. Yeah, jumping back in, kind of what you said. I'm back onto it. Yeah, so agree with what you said here. Keep going on your thought.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I do like Everton here to get the 3 points. I do. Oh, I like them to get a shutout here too. I don't really think. I mean, Watford. I know a lot of people are going to be on Sarr, and he's very solid at what he does. He's going to get points whether he scores or not. But I think it's kind of a tough spot for Watford. So I'm looking at another defender, Lucas De Jean, I believe. I might have pronounced that wrong. Yep. Yeah. Sorry.
You're good.
He's expensive. He's 6.2 for defender, but I think he's going to flourish here. He does have some decent shot ability. He's very good at crossing the ball, and he's going to do all the things you look for in a high-priced defender. And he does also have good clean sheet upside, which when you're at the end and you're teetering, with your score, it's very nice to have a defender or a goalie get that clean sheet. And that's also why I'm going to look at Pickford here too at 5.7K. I mean, I think Watford will be able to get a couple shots. So I think he has decent ability to maybe get six points from defending some shots. But then obviously the play here is, you're looking to get that clean sheet and then also the win and get that 10 points at the end. And he's going to be the most expensive. Yeah. But like I said, I do really like Everton here to come away. I'm thinking maybe 2-0 victory. That's going to be my prediction.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, Watford has some good explosive counterattacking, but they tend to sit back and fight pressure and then try to explode with Dennis and Sarr on the counterattacks. Digne is actually a defender, and if you play DFS for the last 5 or 6 years, he's always been that guy that you wanted to play, kind of that Trent Alexander-Arnold type, because he did have set piece upside. Obviously, that was something that people looked at. But now with Andros Townsend in the fold, obviously from Crystal Palace, there's a lot of the set piece upside, and obviously whenever James Rodriguez plays, it kind of slides over to them. But yeah, I mean, Damari Gray, he's kind of one of those players that we've been waiting on for years, and he's starting to kind of turn it back up and show some potential here. On the other side, I do agree with you that Watford, albeit they are intriguing, they are also kind of like one of those teams that starts really hot. Sarr is actually at 8.1K. And he had 2 stinkers whenever the previous part of the season. He started off extremely hot. The problem is that Watford has never really been that good of a team. They just started off in form. Now they're going to be going here against Everton. They're going to be on the road. I agree with you, man. 2-0 sounds about right. I'm not a huge Jordan Pickford fan, but obviously I think that it's going to be, it'll be fine. I think that they're going to be good here. So, yeah, I echo a lot of the thoughts you think. I think 2-0 sounds about right here. Anything else before we move on to the Leeds-Wolves game?
No, I think that's really I really, like I said, I'm going to stay away from Watford for the most part. I mean, I'm not going to follow anyone for taking Sarr, but yeah, like you said, he's got good numbers, but he does have that ability to just kind of have a clunker. So no, we can move on to the next one. So are we okay?
Yeah, Wolverhampton and Leeds is where we're going next. We want to talk a little bit about this Leeds team. They're one of the most explosive teams behind Marcelo Bielsa. They play a pressing style, very Man City-esque type of football. So tell me what you think in regard to Leeds and who are some of your primary plays on there?
Yeah, so right now Leeds, and I also do. I kind of like both teams here. I guess I should start off with. I think this is another game. I mean, if I would say that I'm looking at a 1-1 final here. So I do think I think this is a pretty even match here. Wolves is on a little bit of a better form. They obviously had a comeback win last Saturday, and they put in 3 goals, and their scoring seems to have ticked up recently. So on that note, the forward I'm really looking at here is Raul Jimenez, the Mexican international. He has very good numbers right now, getting shots and shots on target. He hasn't found the net, I think, as much as he would like, or the club expects him to be. He leads a team right now in goal creation actions, which is different than shot creation actions. So he's actually getting kind of that action to create the goal. It's just I don't think the goals are lining up for him. But at 7.3K, Leeds is a little beat up in the back end. He's a really good GPP play at the forward, and I really like that price. And I really kind of on a betting note too. He's plus 185 to score anytime and plus 500 to open the scoring, and those are two bets that I'm going to be involved with here. He's a very good player, and I think he's going to find the net here against, like I said, Leeds is a little beat up at the back end, and they like to play a little more open than your kind of typical Premier team, EPL team. So yeah, that's going to be my first pick. I'll move on to midfield. This is a guy that I actually played last week and kind of burned me, but I really do love his advanced numbers. He does everything for me. He has the shot creation actions. He gets shots on target, shots assisted. He really does everything that I'm looking for in a midfielder, and he's 6K, and that's Mateusz Klich. He's Polish, so excuse me for if any Polish people are listening. I didn't pronounce that right, but
I think you did a good job there. That was good.
He's gonna be in the middle for Leeds, and he's had some very solid games. He has, like I said, his numbers are very consistent. They had a tough matchup last week, and that's why I think it didn't really go well for him. But he's been very consistent all year, and at 6K, like I said, for a midfielder and kind of everything he does, I'm looking to get on side with him in a lot of my builds, and I think he has good potential for both GPP and cash. He provides kind of that solid floor, but if he gets a goal, gets an assist, then like I said, I think he's a good option for both, and yeah, he's going to be one of my players that I'm targeting this season, especially early where he's still around 6K.
Right.
So yeah,
for sure. I think that with Leeds, I mean, obviously Raphinha is going to be the guy that's going to take majority of the sets, but Mateusz Klich, he has taken penalty kick duty, so that's something to kind of note as well. Like you said, from a form standpoint, advanced metrics, he does a little bit of everything. He's crosses, shots assisted, obviously shots on goal. He plays well in the midfield. He usually plays a full 90, which gives us good equity throughout the game. The thing about Leeds is they usually play weird formations, man. They do these 3-3-3-1s and different things. Right now they're slotted at a 4-4-2, but I would highly expect that without a Patrick Bamford up top, you're going to see Rodrigo kind of play more as the natural striker. Tyler Roberts is a little bit more midfielder based. Raphinha is probably going to slide on the outside and everything, but you do have Daniel James, the Manchester United loanee, playing for them as well in that Jack Harrison left wing role. Is there anybody that you feel is a must play from this Leeds United side in Classic?
Yeah, I think he is for me. I think Klich is a must play for me. I'm gonna have him, I would say, and if I make 10 lineups, he'll be at 9. I really think he has, for me, at the price and what he has potential to do. I can't resist it. There's also I'll highlight one more guy, not from Leeds, actually 2 more guys from Wolves. I want to go to the midfield again here. Looks like he should get the nod here, but João Moutinho. I know, sorry, my pronunciation is not the best here. But yeah, he's 4.9K, and if you're looking, if you're building a lineup where you want to spend up on whether it's up front or in the midfield, he's 4.9K. He's a good option to pair with someone that's more expensive. He's a consistent. He can get you 8-10 points. He's getting 1 shot assisted per match, 3 crosses per match. He has some ability, and if this game kind of opens up like it, I think there's a very good chance that it does. He's a good option to have just at the price. I do like another defender here, Marcel. He has some very good, he's very good with the cross. He actually has some decent shot potential as well. So he's 4.3K right now, and that's another price that I like. But he does have some games where he kind of disappears. But 4.3K, good defender. If they're controlling possession, that's a really good price. And I'll highlight one more defender for them. He's at 2.9. He's going to be a dart throw. It's Kilman. He actually has some okay shot numbers. I mean, they're not they're not anything like you'd expect out of a forward, but he has 4 shots, he has 1 shot on goal. Things bounce his way, on a corner kick or a set piece or something like that. 2.9K. I've seen crazier things. So yeah, that's really kind of the guys I got from this game.
Yeah, I know. Kilman, obviously, those back three for the Wolves team, they're definitely a set piece threats. Usually, their shots on goal are usually coming from headers. In regards to set pieces, Wolves are very notorious for getting good set pieces and getting those back three guys up there: Connor, Cody, Roman Seiss. But yeah, I agree with you in the sense that I know Jan Moutinho, he is a guy that is going to be on corners and going to be on set pieces. I do worry a little bit in regards to open play. He's quite slow. And he's personally a guy that I don't play just because I just dislike him. However, he's very easily going to be able to probably get a close to 2x value in regards, which is good in regards to what you're looking at from a floor play. But yeah, Fernando Marcal, Nelson Semedo, Wolves have always played the same formation, this wingback formation, where both those guys get some crosses in as well. The one player I will actually I love Raul Jimenez because he had that horrific injury, so he was out for a long time, and they had to get a lot of young players in. Wolves suffered. They managed to stay up, not get relegated, but Dama Traore, I think he is he's probably my favorite GPP target on the slate. And the reason why is Leeds United, they press high. And whenever they get countered on, they have 1-2 guys at most probably in that back line. And Adama Traore is probably one of the fastest human beings on earth. He can definitely stretch that right wing. You have Stuart Dallas back there. He is not fast. Liam Cooper doesn't have speed. Daniel James is going to be pushing up. So I think Traore is excellent in regards to the counterattack. If you want to pair a good GPP pairing, you could look at a Traore, possibly a Jimenez with like a Marcal or Semedo there. And maybe even throw, like you said, a Max Kilman or somebody like cheap like Connor Cody in there. But yeah, man, I agree that this is a nice game. I do like both sides of it for different reasons. So yeah. Anything else you got on it?
Yeah, no, like you said, I think this will probably be the most entertaining game of this 9 o'clock slate or 9 o'clock Central slate. But yeah, I'm excited to watch this one. I think it's going to be good.
All right, fair enough. So we have our final game here. Yeah, our producer wants us to drug test Adama Traore, which, I mean, if you look at the guy, he's like the Hulk running on a soccer pitch. And it kind of a funny side note. I don't know if you guys are longtime soccer heads, but one of my favorite players back in the day, I have a signed jersey of him, is El Nino Fernando Torres. They had a recent photo come up. This dude was freaking jacked on the sideline, and he was on the touchline, and the ESPN FC had covered something about it. But yeah, if you haven't looked it up, Fernando Torres, make sure to check out recent pictures of the guy. He's a former striker for Spain, played for Chelsea, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, you got to check it out, guys. But yes, we could drug test Adama Traore. But yeah, moving on, Southampton is hosting Burnley, final game of the slate. What I'll kind of lead out with here, Riley, is that, with Southampton, I do want to say that doesn't look like we're seeing any James Ward-Prowse in the starting expected 11. Yeah. So what does that mean for you?
Yeah. So this was actually this last week. I noticed that, and I played Redmond last week, and he was very good. I think he had 26 DraftKings points. He was very highly owned though. So that's kind of where my angle comes in on this. This is actually a match. I mean, I like Burnley in this spot. I think this is a good spot for Burnley. I'll start with my Burnley pick here. So I do like Dwight Mcneil. He's actually leading the EPL in crosses, which some people might be surprised. He's a very good player. He's definitely Burnley's best player. He's 7K right now, and he's a guy that I'm gonna have in almost all my lineups. He has been a very good DK player as well. So people might get afraid of Burnley. Just they think, oh, Burnley, no offense, boring. Which it's true to a part, but he doesn't. He's kind of everything goes through him. And one note I found about him while I was doing some research for this weekend, he's the only player in the top 20 in the EPL right now that's in the top 20 in shots on target, and the only one without a goal. So what that tells me is I think he's long overdue for a goal. I think to me, he's a great GPP and cash play. And like I said, it's going to be, this is kind of my contrarian opinion here, is where I think Burnley's going to score one or two here. And I think this is a good spot to catch Southampton. But there is one guy I do like on Southampton too. And I'm going to pivot away from Redmond because his price basically doubled in 1 week. And, he did great last week. I'm not going to take that away from him, but how many guys should their price double in a week? And how many people can replicate that 26-point outing again? I have my doubts. I guess that's why I'm going to kind of pivot away from him. I'm going to look at the Norwegian striker here, Mohamed Alanusi. I might have gotten that one wrong too.
Elionusi. You were so close. That was good, man.
I know. But he's going to be in the midfielder spot. But when you look at his advanced numbers, I mean, to me, he's more of a forward. Like I said, I got some notes on him. He's first in the team in shots on target, second in shot creation actions per 90, first in goal creation action. So he's a very good young guy. I'm going to kind of pivot away from Redmond here and look at him, mostly because I think Redmond is going to get a lot of public love, and for good reason. Like I said, he's taken over the Prowse spot. He was very good last week, and what are a lot of people going to do? They're going to look, he was good this week, let's play him again. But for me, especially in a GPP situation, I'm going to look to kind of go pivot away from Redmond and look at him right here. And like I said, he's got good numbers. To me, he's due for a goal. That's those are kind of my general thoughts of the game. What do you think?
Yeah, man. So obviously no JWP means that you're going to get Redmond on sets. You're going to have more of an emphasis, like you said, on Elionusi. Roman Perraud is their left back right now. He actually came out of League One. Definitely has crossing ability, good open play ability. But, man, I really do feel like exactly what you said. Like, this is an opportunity for Burnley to capitalize. Dwight McNeil, there's no way that he is not going to be on a top-flight Premier League team, or maybe go to another league where he can actually showcase his talents on a really good team. He's 21 years old. So, I mean, the guy is excellent. He's always been kind of that up-and-coming. And this is kind of the time where he gets elevated, I guess you could say, to a top-tier club that's not Burnley. Ashley Westwood is sub-6K on DraftKings. 5.6. He's averaging double-digit DK points. They're splitting set pieces right now. Ashley Westwood is one of those guys that you can always count on the fact that he's going to get crosses. He usually plays a full 90. So I feel like, just based off of the Southampton situation, that we could really get some Burnley GPP action. If you can hit Chris Wood or Ashley Barnes on whichever one of those guys scores a goal, because it's usually the guy that you don't play on Burnley that scores. So I think that's going to be really big here. Yeah. So, I mean, I agree with you. I think Westwood's a great cash filler at a mid-price. Dwight McNeil, I see zero issue with prioritizing him, especially because you don't have any of the big top EPL teams on this slate. I mean, you don't have in the Man City, the Man U's, the Chelsea's, Liverpool's, and we don't have any of the crap teams like Arsenal playing on the slate. So I think that we have, a good opportunity to, take advantage of some good knowledge here. So overall slate thoughts here, Riley. What's your favorite team to GPP stack, and is there anything else that we missed?
Yeah, I'm gonna give out one more guy from Burnley because, like I said, I think Burnley's a good train. I'm looking at the forward, Chris Wood. He's an Australian, but what I do like, he's also a guy too that he's almost similar to the guy I covered earlier on Newcastle, Maguel Armeon. He's top in the squad in shots creation actions, total shots, all that. He's the same exact number. He's got minus 1.6 expected goals versus actual goals, which means to me he's overdue. I think he'll get a couple of chances here, and 4.6K. He's a guy that I'm going to have in some GPPs, and I'm not going to have it in all of them, but I do like contrarian build. I'll definitely have a couple, maybe one or two Burnley stacks. McNeil, Wood. A couple defenders in there, like you said. You never really know who's going to score for Burnley, but I'm going to go. For favorite team to stack, I'm definitely going to go with Everton. I think I think they have the most potential here to kind of blow the game open. I would say the other one too, where I think I'll double up both teams, is going to be Crystal Palace Newcastle. I think that has 3-4 goal potential. So yeah, I would just say to the point of what you said earlier, there's no big six teams here. So these are the kind of slates that I love, because you're not, you don't have to worry. You don't have to kind of worry about getting your Liverpool on side, or getting whoever it is on side. And this is where if you follow the EPL, these are all mid-tier teams. So this is interesting. I love this slate, and I can't wait to attack it. I think it's going to be fun. To me, I think what wins you this slate, whether it's cash or GBP, is just getting the team that's going to score maybe 2 or 3 goals here, because every total is the same, 2.5. They're all kind of the same odds. So like I said, it's a very even slate, and if you'll get rewarded for your opinions if they're right. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. You have to take a stance somewhere. I don't think that you're not talking group speak in regards to the rest of the industry here. Like, there's no clear defined route. You're going to have a lot of really sharp players, all the set piece takers to just get their floor plays in. So you're going to see a lot of lineups that are going to start out with a Matt Ritchie at defender, Lucas Digne. You're going to get the set piece takers from the other team. Conor Gallagher is super popular. I think you mentioned him earlier when I was cutting out the issues, but he's a Chelsea player, Chelsea loanee. That guy's super talented. So absolutely, he will be money. But yeah, I mean, for me, last thoughts on just stacking. I think that the way that I've always found to have success in EPL is that you really want to get a high goal probability game. I agree with you. Crystal Palace and Newcastle are probably going to be one of the highest scoring games there. But I'm going to actually shift a little bit more contrarian and say that Wolverhampton and Leeds could be a game that opens up a bit. I have no issue playing a Rodrigo, Rapinha, maybe a 3 on Leeds, 2 on Wolverhampton, or vice versa. I think that could be popular, man. But I think that we pretty much covered it. I know everybody can go to yourfielderschoice.com, check out Riley's EPL article. He's going to have some information on some different plays on some different sites. He's available at YFC Riley Pick 3 in our Discord channel. You can also tag me, YFC V12. Riley, man, I appreciate you taking the time today, doing the stream with us, man. I'm excited about what our soccer content is going to take off on the site, man. Man, appreciate having you. Thank you so much for your insight today, and we appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem. It's great. Great talking to you. We'll talk next week.
All right, man. And appreciate our producer, Gervais. Guys, this is yourfielderschoice.com, EPL Soccer Saturday. Be sure to check us out. Take advantage of our promo. Half off the first 2 months. All sports content included. Hit the like and the bell for notification and subscription on Twitch and YouTube. Guys, have a wonderful day. We appreciate you. And let's make that soccer money.
Great. Yep. Have a good day, guys.